Found a random walker out on the road.
Hi.
Not totally random.
There's a random dog.
And her guard dog. His spot. Somebody's not sure what to think about the bike. He was over here speaking to the ladies. Now he's worried about us. Just a couple of miles up from the home farm. About to drop down into the Sandy Creek bottom at a, as we call them here, a dip or a low water crossing. I probably should have checked how much the creek was up at the farm before I decided on this route, but it probably isn't going to be an issue. Pretty spot along here. Pecan orchard that was planted along with a lot of native pecan. Looks like we got a little water over the dip. I better make sure I got a good handle on the bars here. Pretty fair amount of water over the dip. With the little outcrops of the Wichitas. More mountains in the mist. That area you can see over there is part of the wildlife refuge. Prairie feeling day out on the Great Plains. Sometimes you hear people talk about the fact that once a road's paved, it never goes back, but that does not apply out here. Lots of areas had a greater population 30, 40, 50, nearly 100 years ago than they have now. This road's an example. It was paved even when I was growing up around here, but they ground it up and made it into a gravel road quite a few years back. We're on a even ungraveled road. This truly is basically a dirt road through here. It may have had a little tiny bit of gravel put on it, but there's stretches further up here with none whatsoever. Always thought this was a particularly unique dome-shaped outcrop out here, just a little bit northwest of Indiahoma. The road here is alternating between sand pits, washouts, and goat heads. Pretty sketchy. Up here at a crossing on the Stillwater Central Railroad. It's the current operator. It's a low volume kind of railroad hauling mostly granite chips like the bedding here from a quarry up in Snyder. Up the line there, pretty much where you see the hill topping out, was a little community at one time called Odetta. Had the Odetta switch there. You still find that on maps sometimes, and you'll hear the weather people around here referring to storms going past Odetta, but there is not a thing at Odetta other than the foundations of the old water towers and coal loading facilities for the trains when they were still steam. Up on a hilltop overlooking Sandy Creek bottom, and we've got what seems to be anymore the tree of Southwest Oklahoma, the cell phone tower, with the Rural Water District water tower on the hill too. West of Indiahoma now, on about to cross old US 62. New 62 is on a different alignment, so this is one of the old 1930s two-lane concrete ribbons. Sandy Creek bottom for the second or third time on this little loop here west of Indiahoma. Past the little city park, kind of cute. decorations for the 4th of July. And the volunteer fire department in these buildings right here. And then the center of the community up here anymore, in addition to the churches, is the mini mall, which is in fact kind of like a little mall. It has a central court with a restaurant and little businesses off the sides where the city offices are located. And the Indy Superette, our one remaining service station and such, and the Indiahoma Public Schools. This is everything, K through 12, all on a city block. And they moved up in the world. This is the original school building, but they got air conditioning now. When I was in school, all those big windows were still glass, and we had evaporative coolers, what we call swamp coolers, which aren't all that great. We got the water tower with the Class B state champions from back in 2002, I believe. Right here we have the Indiahoma United Methodist Church, where I went with my grandmother when I was growing up. Established in 1907, so just about statehood. And we do still have a post office, which is a little rough around the edges also, but it's still here. Many years this was a little bar in Indiahoma. Our local auto mechanic, Mr. Tim Henson's facility along here. Looking good. Looking very good, Tim. Brethren Church, and it was originally a mission to the Native American tribes, primarily Comanches and Kiowas in this area, and was located out on Fort Sill. A lot of people do have the idea that the Great Plains is totally flat, but not so much. It's not as hilly as a lot of areas, but there is quite a substantial amount of roll to the terrain in most places. Let's wrap this up. Back in from a pleasant 20-mile morning ride on a nice cloudy and kind of cool morning. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this, bike reviews, product reviews, and the like, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.